I really felt like making a video today, namely to test out this microphone that I'm wearing here. I got a new mic today. It's probably no good, and I think I'll be using the audio from the video anyway. But so that was one excuse. I think, well, I wanted a good reason to make a video. I don't want to just make a video for no good reason. But I've been thinking about this for the last 3 hours, and I've gone from, I wanted to talk about cutting shapes, because what even is cutting shapes? From what I can tell, it's just that sort of zigzaggy foot motion. How did this come about? Am I right? Is that all it is? If that's not what it is, can somebody actually record a video and tell me this is shuffling and this is cutting shapes, so that I will know what the differences are? Explain it to me and send me the link in a comment or in a private message. Please do. Okay, do that. If you know the difference, make a video and send me the link. That's one thing, but it didn't seem to warrant a video. So I changed my mind, and that's not what this video is about. And then for the longest time, I got distracted, and I spoke to my friend and your friend, internet friend Pei. And we just discussed cameras and lenses, and there's a new Nikon camera coming out. I'm a Canon guy, he's a Nikon guy, so he's excited about the new announcement that Nikon is going to make in a week or so about the new mirrorless body, full frame. And you know what? Yeah, go to my Instagram. This is my Instagram, Big Milan Photography, I think, is the... Well, anyway, that's what it is. The link will be also in the description. I'll just post photos of everything. People, cars, mushrooms, cats, whatever. I always have my camera with me. It's all totally random, just like these videos. So, it's in theme of no theme. Have a look at that. And then I spoke to my internet friend, Josie Carver, I think. Ooh, I might be butchering that. I'm sure you guys know who she is. Find her in the description as well. I'll put a link to her channel, I think, on YouTube or wherever she has stuff. I'll link you to that. And she recommended I should talk about the state of the world. Global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert, but the simple fact is that carbon dioxide does reflect heat back to Earth and traps the heat. So we've been digging carbon deposits from the ground, burning it and releasing it into the air. So basically what happens... Oh, okay, here. Now you learn something. What happens is you have hydrocarbon or a carbohydrate or whatever it is that you're burning. Basically, it's some amount of hydrogen and carbon bundled together. You need oxygen for fire. At least to burn wood, essentially, and petrol and things like this. So what happens is, with enough heat, the carbons and the hydrogens and the O2, two oxygens that we breathe, the same oxygens that we breathe, they come in a molecule of two oxygens. That all breaks up. I don't know the exact process. There's probably several steps, and depending exactly on what you're burning to. But essentially what you end up with is those hydrogens and carbons bonding with the oxygens. So the hydrogens come off and join with the oxygens, and you get H2O. So 2 hydrogens and an oxygen make up a water molecule. So when you make a flame, you're essentially releasing water vapor into the air, as well as the carbons also join with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. So carbon and 2 oxygens, if I'm not mistaken. No, dihydrogen oxide is water. I said that wrong. So yeah. What is it? Yeah. H2O is dihydrogen oxide. Okay. So basically you end up with water and carbon dioxide. Water, you know what happens with that. Rain comes down. There you go. Carbon dioxide as well, floats up in the atmosphere, whatever. Trees turn it back into trees. Trees come from carbon dioxide from the air. So, literally trees are made of carbon dioxide, not from the ground. Trees are made of air. That's a whole different story. But basically all the extra carbon dioxide we're putting into the atmosphere is trapping more heat. How much? I don't know this. Is it a problem? I believe so. That seems to be the consensus. Would the Earth warm up anyway? Essentially. Climate does change naturally. It always has. There's been ice ages and hot periods and so forth. When the dinosaurs were around, it was much hotter. And there was much more oxygen, I believe, which allowed them to go that big. And the insects as well. You'd have these gigantic insects. Insects don't really have a circulatory system the way we do. So it's, from what I understand, just diffusion. So without a much higher amount of oxygen, it's hard for them to feed the oxygen to such a large body. So we had far larger insects earlier. Where was I going with all this? It's so late. But I didn't want to make a video about that either, because I am not an expert in this. And what did I arrive at? Yes, so talking to Josie, I was saying something, and I wanted to say that I have many hobbies. YouTube, obviously, everyone knows that is one. Oh, my video is crooked. I didn't set the tripod up correctly. It's too late now. Videos, like I just mentioned before, photography. I do love my science. Oh man, I love my science. I studied psychology, which real scientists will tell you is not a science, but it is too. I've mentioned this before. I've got some gallium here. I'm going to make a video about that. It's a liquid at room temperature, but a solid. But I think, under room temperature, I think, like whatever I said, 30-ish degrees, 30, 40 degrees, it becomes, about 30 degrees, I think it becomes liquid. So below that, it's a solid. Yeah, I love science. I'm constantly watching videos. So I posted a picture of Carl Sagan to say I have billions of hobbies. And then afterwards I played a video about, it's by Joe Scott. And it says, with Joe, is every electron in the universe the same electron? I haven't watched the video yet, but I have heard about this. I just want to see what he has to say. And lo and behold, there's Carl Sagan. It seems that it doesn't let good Professor Sagan speak. In any case, please. So I decided, you know what, this is a sign. This is going to be a video about Carl Sagan. Twice in 2 minutes. It's got to be about Carl Sagan. But I can't just make a video about Carl Sagan. It's... What a man. I mean... Jesus. I feel... so dreamy. I feel overwhelmed. Like... Where would you begin? the Voyager whole project, that thing's out of the solar system and it's carrying a gold record. Gold record. I make gold records, baby. Carl Sagan literally made a gold record. I was making a reference to the cowbell video on SNL with Christopher Walken and Will Ferrell. Whatever. Point is, the Voyager thing. There was another probe before that, Pioneer, maybe? I might be wrong about that. He's written books. He obviously, quite a few books. I should read some of them. Dragons of Eden, I think, is one I want to read, and most likely The Pale Blue Dot, or whatever that book is called. Cosmos, Carl Sagan's Cosmos. I've watched that several times. It's, oh man. Yeah. And he died, I think, in 96, I think. Yeah, 96. Like Tupac. But yeah, I can't make a video about Carl Sagan. That's just... What could I possibly say that hasn't been said so many times? But I will take this opportunity to highly recommend Cosmos. If you haven't seen it, please find a way to watch it. There is the Neil deGrasse Tyson one. It's somewhat of a remake. It visits obviously the same topics, but it's also somewhat of a sequel. It's not verbatim repeated. It's almost like an addition to the original Cosmos. So it is very good, but no one can replace Carl Sagan. So I'm sure Dr. Tyson didn't try to either, but he did a good job. But I mean, yeah. Cosmos is Sagan. You know what? I'll just leave it at that. This is a test of my microphone. That's what this video is. And I bid you farewell. I'm off in my spaceship of the imagination.